What's up? BigHerc916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. Today I just want to talk about friends in your friend circle and how your friends evolve over time. And I know that you sometimes have, friends that are day ones that stick with you through the journey. They might be far and few between. Maybe it might be one or two people like that in your life. Then you have other people that you grew up around by default, but as you go through your journey, you realize that you have less and less in common with those people. And it's not that you're saying you're any better, but as you expand your visions, your goals, your dreams, you want to find like-minded people that support those goals and dreams and people that believe in what you're doing. And for the most part, unless the people you're around are also doing things, it could be detrimental when you're sharing too much of your journey with those who are kind of stuck in time. Those people kind of, they have a tendency to get mad and they kind of feel some kind of way because they think that they're being left behind, but it's not by your doing, it's by their own doing. And as you put in your work to achieve whatever the goal it is you set for yourself, they somehow feel like you either owe them something or that whatever it is you're achieving should be the same thing that they're entitled to. And a lot of times you're hustling in I call it the invisible universe. You don't see the things that you're planting physically until they blossom in the material world, whether it's a job opportunity, whether it's an introduction to somebody who changes your life. Um, you have to believe that whatever it is you're doing will reap benefits or somehow materialize without you actually seeing it. And that's hard for a lot of people to do. If somebody's not physically doing something and seeing a result right away, they think it's not real. I used to deal with a lot of that in prison, man. Writing books, um, studying different things about the law. People would think like, oh man, what are you doing? Like you're wasting your time. And anytime you're educating yourself, you're learning something, you're developing a skill, just because you're not getting a monetary reward for it right then doesn't mean it's not going to benefit you down the road, that you're not going to reap something great from that. And when I draw or when I write, I do it because I like that form of expression, that side of creativity, the challenge of turning a blank piece of paper into a portrait or into an image, or creating a story out of thin air and then being able to share that story with the world. To me, that's the blessing. And to be able to do that and also earn a living is even better. Doing something you love to do and being rewarded for it. So you just gotta, sometimes eliminate toxicity out of your life when it comes to people who really don't have nothing going on. And it's through conversations. They're always miserable, complaining, making excuses, and they want to kind of rain on your parade because they feel like nothing is going their way or nothing's changing. But sometimes change is not physically seen right away. Things could be changing in your in your world because of things you're doing, but those things, once they, you know, change hands or somehow are exposed, it has it just has an explosive effect on the things that it's impacted. So don't ever give up on your dreams. Be careful about the friends you put yourself around, the people who you tend to share your ideas with. You'll also have people that they like to have you around when they feel they have more than you because they feel like somehow you're subservient to their position in their life. But as soon as you start having the same things they have or more, they tend to change their attitude towards you, and they look for people who validate who they are. And you should never look to another person for validation of your position in life. You should look to yourself first and foremost and have faith in just your blessings by God that you are who you are. You should never look to another human being to say, yeah, you're this or that, because if you are truly blessed in your talent and your skill and you believe in yourself, it's going to show. And it's not going to be the people that are necessarily close to you or people that know you that are going to give you the validation or the respect. It's going to be people that don't know you, because a lot of times people that know you can have a tendency to be jealous because of your talent or your skill and feel like, why you? But they don't see you training if you're an athlete. They don't see you putting hours and hours if you're an architect or an artist. You know, they don't see you writing for hours if you're a writer. They don't see you doing all these different things to perfect your craft. And everybody starts off with just learning. You know, your first drawings might be stick figures. It might be just rough, just rudimentary sketches. And then it gets better over a period of time, and you develop the skill set. But if you're not working towards something, you're not putting in the effort, how do you expect to get good at something? You don't get good at something by doing nothing. And we all have some type of talent, man. It just depends on, on how you are able to manage your time to develop that talent. So I realized that, it took me it took me on a journey to get to where I'm at now, to be able to share like my creative side, the writing, the drawing, the articulating part, helping other people with just, visioning and believing in themselves. But at least I was able to come to that conclusion and find a happy place, because not everything is based on just, oh, this is, I do this and I get money, I do this, I get money, I do this, because then it's just the value. There's no value in it. If you could just do something and it didn't take any effort, that's why when people see certain things, they know what it took to get there, and they value it because of what sacrifices or what time you had to put in to get to that point. And that's what gives it value. And that's what gives the person who participated in whatever it is, it gives them value because of the discipline they had to do that. So you got to be careful. And the people, like I said, you share with who aren't really doing anything. And when a person says they have no passions and they have no interest outside of, like, getting high or drinking, even though they have maybe a good job or whatever, they make money, you got to be careful. You got to kind of steer clear, man, because a lot of times those people, when they see you doing stuff, they want to pull you back into the world. And there's a constant pull, whether you're in relationships, whether you're in friendships, there's a pull to see where you're going to go. People want to pull you this way. You have your own interests, but sometimes, unless there's a balance, something has to give. And if you have a certain level of success you want to achieve, you either got to break away or dumb yourself down. And you never want to dumb yourself down. So sometimes it's better to break away and just try to, continue to find other friends. I mean, we get stuck on people we've met, and sometimes you change more than they change. And then when you see that person again, you realize you're a lot different than you were back then. And it's hard for them to realize, and you see the difference. And it's not to say you can't still be cordial, but that person was maybe meant to be in your life for that certain part of their journey. And now there's another journey and another chapter to be written. So keep writing your book of life, keep fulfilling your chapters, keep pushing yourself, keep being creative, and be the best person you can be. BigHerc916. Subscribe, share the channel. BigHerc916.com to pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt. What's up? Big Herc 916, and I would like to introduce you to Little Herc's Big Lessons. My wife and I decided to come out with a children's book series that encourages young children to be strong, to make good choices, and also teach valuable lessons. Lesson 2, speak with strength. At school, Little Herc's classmate Maria looked upset. The bigger kids were teasing her about her artwork. Hey, Little Herc said, stepping forward, Maria's art is awesome. Let's show some respect. The bigger kids shuffled their feet and walked away. Maria smiled at Little Herc. Thanks, Herc. You're always brave enough to stand up for what's right. Little Herc felt proud. Speaking up is what strong people do. You can pick up the book, link in the description.
The popos are coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh, shit.